Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda, and welcome to our channel. So, is there any evidence that the end of the extra unemployment benefits actually pushed people back to work? Well, folks, I have news for you. This evidence is missing. Why? Because it doesn't exist. The end of the extra unemployment benefits did not push people back to work. In fact, I have done another video on our channel where I expose the fact that the end of the extra unemployment benefits was entirely political. It had nothing to do with the financial needs of the American people, which is extremely ironic when you consider two things. One, our politicians are supposed to serve us. We aren't supposed to serve them. They are our employees because they are paid by taxpayer funded dollars. And number two, the unemployment benefits system is supposed to work for those who are unemployed. You are a customer, you're a client of the unemployment benefits system if you're expecting or receiving unemployment benefits, because that is what the system was designed to do. However, in a brand new article, as you can see here on your screen from CNBC, evidence is still missing that the end of extra unemployment benefits actually pushed people back to work. There's very little evidence that workers who lost federal unemployment benefits in June or July have actually rushed to find jobs, according to labor economists. In fact, a lot of data suggests that there are factors other than enhanced benefits, such as concerns about safety and childcare, that have actually impacted the labor market to a large degree. In fact, this suggests that the Labor Day unemployment cliff may not lead to a surge in job growth, because remember, all the federal unemployment benefits ended Labor Day weekend. Now a lot of economists are saying, hey, maybe this will allow people or encourage people to get back to work. And the truth is, there remains very little evidence to suggest that states have successfully urged individuals to get back to work by ending federal unemployment benefits early. As you may recall, 26 states actually withdrew federal unemployment benefits in June or July prior to the official expiration over Labor Day weekend. Now, their governors, and a majority of them were Republican, actually believed that increased unemployment benefits were acting as a disincentive and encouraging individuals to not work and just stay home collecting benefits. Now, a lot of data has suggested that other factors are playing a larger role. These factors include safety concerns, childcare issues, and increased savings, believe it or not. A lot of individuals, thanks to stimulus checks, thanks to prior unemployment benefits, and in many cases, thanks to another member of the family, perhaps a spouse, working and bringing in cash. Now, if people have a higher savings rate, they are less likely to work, even though there are a record number of job openings. Now, the unemployment cliff that actually happened over Labor Day weekend, where federal unemployment benefits ended, impacted more than 8.5 million of our fellow Americans, according to data that was released by the Labor Department. On your screen, you'll see the data that was released by the Labor Department. This is directly from the US Department of Labor, and you can see that their news release actually suggests that 8.5 million of our fellow Americans were impacted. Now, here's the interesting thing. Even though we had an unemployment cliff, specifically when you take into account all these Republican states that ended unemployment benefits early, even though we have this cliff, it is not leading to an increase in individuals rushing back to their jobs. Here's an interesting comment from Anne Elizabeth Conkell, who's a labor economist at the job site Indeed. She said this: if that's any sort of precursor, I'm not betting on the end of the federal benefits on Labor Day being a clear and sharp reflection point. So here's the thing, folks. Every state is a little different in terms of the job mix and the worker demographics. But according to a JP Morgan Chase Bank research note that was recently published, they said this: understanding how the unemployment cliff will impact the US labor market is a pressing issue. For example, those unable to find a job or return to work may struggle financially and pull back on spending, and this could negatively affect local economies. Now, folks, I want to be clear. If an individual is working, they are more likely to spend more money. If an individual has a higher savings rate, they are more likely to spend more money, which, by the way, is good for local economies. You fill up gas in your car, you go to the grocery store, you order food, you go out and buy some ice cream. That helps the local economy, and that keeps money flowing through the local economy. However, if you don't have a job and if your savings rate is down, you're less likely to spend money, and that negatively impacts the local economy. In fact, most people, 7 out of 8 people who lost federal benefits in June, were not re-employed in early August, according to a paper that was authored by researchers at Columbia University, Harvard, the University of Massachusetts Amherst, and the University of Toronto. This led to a nearly $2 billion aggregate cut in spending. This is terrible, folks. If people don't work or if people don't spend money, that leads to job loss in other aspects of the economy. I can tell you for a fact that one of my favorite diners in my community and one of my favorite sushi places in my community has shut down forever, gone. Now, these places have been around for 10 or more years, and now I'm going to have to find a new place to get my sushi and to get my breakfast, my weekend breakfast. I'm being serious, folks. You know this because there are restaurants and there are local businesses in your community that have shut down forever. In fact, JP Morgan economists have also failed to find large effects on jobs because of the early withdrawal of the unemployment benefits. In short, when all these politicians, when all these local governors said, hey, let's cut unemployment benefits early, they were absolutely wrong. Here's a quote from a JP Morgan economist. In fact, we find that the loss of benefits is associated with the modest decline in employment growth, earnings growth, and labor force participation. According to Daniel Zhao, who's a senior economist at the job site Glassdoor, while a flood of workers to the job markets has not materialized so far in the states that cut unemployment benefits early, it's still too early to understand if the impact will be similar in states where federal benefits ended like they were supposed to on the 6th of September, which, by the way, was the official expiration date provided by the American Rescue Plan, and this was not extended by Congress. Let's show you this chart on your screen, which is the US job growth, and you can start to see that the job growth has actually declined in August 2021, much lower than expected. People are simply not going back to work. There is some evidence that this Labor Day cliff, the unemployment cliff, which, by the way, impacted larger states like California and New York, affected a larger volume of workers than the ones over the summer. In other words, it's hard to spot the trends because the trends are different across different states. On top of this, we have the Delta variant and the associated spike, which is actually making unemployed individuals nervous to get back to work, and as a result, employers are finding it hard to get people to fill positions, especially for in-person work. On top of that, because of the surge in the Delta variant, it's actually impacting parents' ability to return to work due to school closures or student quarantines, for example. At the end of the day, millions of our fellow Americans are still struggling to return to normal life, to return to pre-pandemic life, and many Americans do have higher savings rates because of the stimulus checks, unemployment benefits, and because a spouse was working. And this, in the end, could be the reason why people are taking their time to get back to work. I don't believe that individuals just want to stay at home collecting unemployment benefits, but I do believe that individuals want to take their own time to get back to work, want to reevaluate their options, learn new skills, potentially switch jobs, switch careers, or maybe even start a business. Because at the end of the day, you want to find a job that is a match with your skill sets and your interests and your desires. And this entire pandemic has allowed us to reevaluate the work we did in the past, the skills we want to build now, and the work we want to do in the future. We want our work to be meaningful. We want our work to give us some flexibility, and we want to have flexible hours, even if that means we have to switch jobs and take a pay cut, which is indeed what is happening. Please click the like button. Please click subscribe. Please enable notifications. Thank you so much for watching. I want you to know I work hard on this channel every single day to bring you the truth wherever the truth might lead us. I believe the early termination of the unemployment benefits was largely political, and it was not based in what the American public really wanted or really needed, which is sad because this means our politicians have let us down. They only care about themselves. I don't care whether the politician is a Democrat or a Republican. I believe at the end of the day, all these politicians only care about themselves. Please click the like button. Please click subscribe. Please enable notifications. Also follow me on Twitter. This right here is my Twitter feed. You'll be able to keep up with all the latest news stories I follow on Twitter. My Twitter handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you're not a member of our community yet, definitely subscribe and help us spread the word. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.